Welcome back to another day of Global Game Jam Prep Week. I'm Robert Anderberg, also known as Bobby D, in the global in the global Game Jam community, in the Big Bang community. I'm going to talk to you today about Big Bang, which is the game making platform that we've been building. Lets you make and play games with friends in a web browser. You don't need any other tools, so if you just have access to a computer anywhere, you can make something and play around, open up your projects, and get them instantly to where you are. And today, today you might notice, straight out of the gate, straight away, it all worked fine, perfectly. So it only took me 3 days to get good enough at doing this that I didn't get it wrong when I first turned it on. But welcome everybody. On Monday, we did some multiplayer game building. We all jumped in together and had some fun. Yesterday, I'm going to put this multiplayer link here. People can jump in while I'm talking. Yesterday, we looked at how to make your own player character different, like make it do something different completely, because I think often when people see games on Big Bang, they're just seeing third-person games like this. Look, everyone's jumping in already. Good to see you again, Orca. Good to see you again, Julia Plays 1234. The classic. Yeah, people see, this third-person character controller, and they see this kind of camera, and it seems like that's the kind of games you can make, or that's somewhat limited. And I think it's always important to kind of show that you can make completely different things. Who we got? We got Summer Sky, Orca, all of the heroes of the stream coming live. And yeah, we're standing on this fancy ground, which is being generated using a noise function. So, it makes a grid of these little cubes, and then for every position, it gets a height value, and the height value is coming from this thing called noise. And usually, the word noise, I mean, if you don't know about noise in games, usually noise means like it's noisy, but it's also a word that people use in maths to mean like a function that could give you back some kind of values for some kind of inputs. So yeah, so you can do this, and the colors are done that way as well. And it's I think it's pretty beautiful. Anything that is some beautiful colors moving around on a screen, that's good for me. Makes me feel happy. So today we got an option to do two different things. One idea that I had was to just do some fun programming, doing some things like this in a simple way to show you like an easy way to do some coding, kind of creative programming. I was going to do that in the FPS example because I think that would be fun. Or we could try and make a little twin stick shooter game, or a little shooter game where we run around with a pillar and fire love hearts or flowers at things. So if you have a preference between that, like fun coding that looks a bit like this that I have on the screen right now in the FPS example, or running around firing love hearts at people with a new little player character that I was going to make, let me know in the chat right now. I think if I don't get any... Oh, some people coming through now, yeah. I feel like doing the little shooter one just to kind of show that we can build something like that very quickly. I have no idea whether I can finish it in an hour. I think it's probably possible, but, we can find out together. Maybe it'll go horribly wrong, and I will be scratching my head, but maybe not. Who knows? So get your votes in now. Let's see what people say. While we're waiting, give people a second. Let's go and get an overview of there's me, my character. And you can see as well that the camera is here, and that's the camera that I'm going to look through when I press play. You can see that here. And this is actually an infinite landscape, so if we go on a journey, it's generating it in front of me. It's a bit funny because it generates it around each player on their computer. But yeah, it can get really nice. There's some nice kind of curves, and one day I'm going to put a jetpack. You know what? Can we put jetpacks? Can we just put jetpacks in games now? Does that work? What if I just dropped a jetpack right down here? Let me find it. I'm going to see if it works. Templates, jetpack, jetpack. Okay, I'm going to put it here. Can we just get this jetpack and go jetpacking? Yes, we can. Oh my gosh. I've actually wanted to do this for so long. Fly over this landscape like this. Yeah, so you can see it generating ahead of us, right? It's just generating the landscape as it goes using this noise function. That could be anything, like it could be a sine wave, it could be just any old nonsense. But yeah, it's using the noise functions that we had. And we can just fly forever. Just keep going. These guys coming with me. This is 100 million times more awesome now than it was originally. Should we actually do such? Should we make stuff, or should we just fly around today? I think we should make stuff. Okay. Let's land over here. Doink. But it's so nice flying around. Maybe you can make them fade in at the edge or something. Now I want to make it generate like little houses and things when you go around. Little rainbow houses for rainbow people. This is so fun. Is that the start back? Okay, I'm going to stop. Let's stop having fun. Let's get down to work. We're not here to have fun. We're here to do some serious business, some serious game development. So I'm going to start absolutely from scratch. I'm going to, as if we haven't done anything at all, I'm going to just start a brand new tab. I'm going to leave this and start from scratch, and I'm just going to go to .bigbang.com. You can also type game.new. I'm going to do that because that's so much fun. Game.new in a web browser, and you come here to this page, pick a starter game. I'm just going to pick the empty game. Yesterday I was doing Octo Temple, which is really beautiful, a beautiful area. But today I'm going to start an empty game, start with nothing. So here we go. I'm going to save just before we get started. And I'm going to share a little multiplayer link. I don't know whether that's a good idea. Maybe it isn't. Just before we get started, let's... sure it is. What could go wrong? Let's just put it in there. Let's just put it in there. Oh, somebody says FPS. Somebody said FPS. Should I listen to them? I can't decide. Yeah. Well, we'll do the FPS thing, and then we'll come back and start doing this. We'll do both. We'll make 2 games within an hour. Funny. Right, let's do it. So let's start again from scratch. Blank web page. I'm going to go to game.new. Let's pick FPS. And the FPS kit has a whole bunch of templates and fun stuff just to build an FPS game. It works right out the gate, so you can run around and shoot stuff. Maybe it is more fun doing it this way in the FPS, because then everybody can jump in. It's got a bunch of exploding barrels, things of this nature. It has a bunch of weapon types. It has an invisible player with just a character, a gun running around. So let's get to it. First thing I'm going to do is give it a new name. I'm going to call it Bobby D Global Game Jam Prep Week FPS. It's going to be Prep Week Friday, because it's Friday. I'm going to save here. And once I've done this, I'm going to hit share. And that means we're immediately going to go into a multiplayer editor as soon as we get started. I'm actually going to, for now, I'm going to share the play link with people, and I'm going to stay in the editor just while we get it going, and then later on we can mess around and do editor stuff. But yeah, feel free to jump in. So this is a little FPS game. It has destructible boxes. It has water that shoots out of this water tower. It's got some destructible doors with some secret health and ammo and weapons. I feel like I'm going to get shot here. Yeah. Well, luckily, where's Julia? Well, we can give as good as we can get. Look at this. Okay, so this game works. It's running right now. What I'm going to do is hit edit, and while the game is playing, I'm going to jump out so we can stop getting shot by Julia and focus up a little bit on what we're doing. So yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a really simple version of what we were looking at before with the noise example. And to do that, I'm going to pick up my trusty pillar. Everything starts with a pillar. I don't know why I like this object so much, but I do. Here it is, Game Jam Pillar Pattern by Voxelius. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these crates that we have. I'm going to copy it over here. Come here, crate. You are mine now. And as you can see, when the game's running, this is kind of dropping down and has a little bit of behavior on it. I'm going to remove all of that stuff because I just want it to be a crate. I don't want it to be a fancy crate that's doing its own thing with its own life. And then I'm going to bring it over to my pillar. And get rid of some of this stuff now because we don't need it. And the next thing I'm going to do with my crate is I'm going to reset its rotation just so it's nice and lined up with the level. Julia's coming over and see what we're doing. I'll stand on top of the crate. And then I'm going to make a little template out of it. So I'm going to hit entity, make a new template. I'm going to call it Bobby D GGJ crate. So a template is like packaging up the entity so you can reuse it, you can spawn it, you can have it as a player character. We could use this as our player character now. I don't think it'd be a very exciting game if we were just a crate, but we could do it. It's possible. Should we just become a crate and restart the game? Would everyone like to be a crate? I think we should do it. Okay. Player template. The thing is that, first of all, I need to find myself the player. And where am I? I saw myself there. There's too many players in here, that's the problem. Is that me? Yeah, that's me. Okay. So I'm going to take a copy of the player template itself. So I've got my own version. Save as Bobby D. Save this. So I've got that for later. And then I'm going to make it. We're going to be a crate. This game is now called Crate Game. So now everybody is a crate. The crate does nothing. You can't move. I'm going to spawn here. Let's spawn somewhere else. Why am I always spawning in the same place? That's the question. Well, I think being a crate wasn't that exciting, so I think we should go back. Okay. Let's not be crates. Let's be players. Okay. Stay on target. Let's do it. So now we've got a pillar and we've got a crate, and what we're going to do is make a whole bunch of these crates go up and down in a nice, beautiful wave, and then we're going to jump on top of them and have some fun. So to do this, I already made this thing into a template. It's called Bobby D GGJ crate, and I'm going to make a script that goes on my pillar that's going to control a whole bunch of crates. So I made an example of this thing. getting shot while I'm building. This is the genius of multiplayer game editing. It's just that you can get shot while you're actually making your game. Okay, so gonna make a new script. Scripting in .bigbang is scripts are written in TypeScript. It's if you've written JavaScript before, you're very comfortable doing that. So let's get ourselves a little bit of space. And in here, the first thing I'm going to say is we're going to give it a name. Bobby D. Global Game Jam Friday spawning. Okay. And so the first thing, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say I'm going to make like 10 crates. I'm going to spawn the crate that we've just made, the template, and then I'm going to position them all and move them up and down. So to do that, the first thing we need is how many crates we're going to spawn. Num crates. I'm going to set that to 10. And then on the script here, you can see that it says 10. I think we'll just make that a little slider. Number range. How many crates? 1 to 100. Maybe you can have 100 crates. So now I've got a little slider. We can change this number around. We'll leave it at 10 though. And then when we need to be able to pick the crate template. So let's say template to spawn. And that's going to be a template ref. So a template ref is a way for us to refer to a template, the thing that we've just made, and then spawn it. So as soon as I did that, you can see that this has appeared now here, template to spawn. I'm going to pick the crate that we made, so that's nice and hooked up. And then I'm going to make an array, which is just like a list of things that we've spawned. So then once we spawn them, we can do something with them. Spawned entities. That's going to be array of entity. It's going to look like this. Oh no, it's going to be an array of entity, not just an entity. People blowing each other up in the background there. Okay, so in our start function, this gets called when the game starts. And in some other cases, but mainly when the game starts. I'm going to say for let I equals 0, I is less than this num crates. And what that's doing is we've got a little loop that for each of it goes through this loop the number of times that we have set in num crates. So in here, we now need to actually do the spawning. I'm going to use the position of the pillar as the starting point to position all of these crates. And to do that, I'm going to say, I'm going to make a position called start position, like this. And that is actually going to be this entity will transform. The transform is the position, rotation, and scale. Just like this, I think. We don't need anything else. So for each crate, I'm going to say spawned entity. So this is what we're making. This game, add entity from template. There's one thing I forgot to do. So when we've got a template ref, it's possible that somebody hasn't filled it in the UI here. So we've just got to check that quickly. And we'll say let template equal this template to spawn get if the template is not valid, so they haven't filled it in, let's do an error, and we'll say, hey, you need to fill this in. New error. This script, I'll say, please select can't type, select a template in the script properties. There you go. So now if we don't have this filled in, this will fail, which is very helpful. Okay, so we'll select our crate again, so it does work. And then, now that we know right here, we know that template is good because up here above, we've said, hey, if the template isn't good, then throw an error. That means we can never get here if the template's not good. Okay, so what are the parameters to this add entity from template thing? We need to have the template. Yes, we've got that. Now, why? It says template null is not assignable to type template, but if not template, this should work. What if we return here? What have I missed? Oh yeah. Okay. Well. Oh, it's because I didn't throw it. I made an error, but I didn't throw it. I made an error making an error. What better mistake is there to make than a double error? Okay, so now this works fine. It's going to spawn an entity, and then we're going to set its position. So for this spawned entity, we're going to set its position to the start position. Copy. So that's going to be the first position, start position, like this. And then we're going to do an offset. So we'll say spawn entity will transform position, and we're going to change its, I think it's the z-axis, plus equals I times, let's do like 100 or something. Okay, so we can already see that it's starting to do something here. Woo! Yeah. So we can see that as soon as we did that, we've spawned 10 crates. They're spaced out at spacing of 100. And start the game again. And now they're spaced out at a spacing of 80. So look at that. So not too exciting yet, not too exciting. But there, they're all spawned. I think what I'm going to do is, well, that's fine for a start. I think actually maybe I'll do the positioning in the tick, and then we can move the pillar around, and they'll all move with us. So I'm going to do this instead. And then this, we forgot, now we need to add it to our list. Spawned entities, push. So, yeah. So we made 10 entities here. We spawned 10 crates and we put them in our list called spawned entities. And then down here in our tick, this gets called every time the game does an update. So that's, you know, if your frame rate is 60 frames a second, you get 60 updates. You get 60 tick methods called in that 1 second. So let's position our crates every frame and make them do something nice. So we'll do the same thing we did above. For let I equals 0, I is less than this. Spawned entities length, I plus plus. So now we're looping through all of our crates every tick. And now let's set their positions to something interesting. So let's say let entity equal this spawned entities. I'm going to save just for a second. Okay, so we're going to get the ith spawned entity. So that first time through it'll be 0, and that'll be the first one, because arrays in JavaScript and most programming languages, as you probably know, go from 0 and then all the way up to 9, which will be the last one. And so now we're going to do entity. Let's get the position again. Y equals. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use a sine function. And what a sine function does is it makes a really nice smooth curve for an input. And as an input, I'm going to use the time. I'm in fact going to use server time. In a multiplayer session of .Big Bang, there is a timer that the server sends you, and every one of the clients synchronizes their clocks to that. So if we use that, that means that when we are doing these changes, these offsets, they'll be the same on everybody's computer on the network. So this is probably working. The only problem is we haven't positioned them anymore. It is working, you can see it here. So let's do our positioning here instead of where we were doing it above. I think I deleted it instead of copying it. but that's okay, we can do it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is say the start position again is going to be this entity. Start pause equals this entity will transform position. Doop. And then we're going to start by positioning where that entity is. So we're going to say entity will transform position, copy, start position. There's a wild fight going on in the background still. Now they'll be on top of the pillar. We're going to start again. Just to show that everyone's on top of the pillar. And then we've got to space them out again. So let's get spacing. Time to space. Okay, so we'll say entity transform position z plus 4i times, what was it, 80 was a good one, wasn't it? There you go. So now you can see we've got a whole bunch of crates and they're all moving up and down, which is kind of cool. But what would be nicer is if they were going along in a nice snaky snake movement. So let's move these up a bit as well. Y. Oh, the Y is supposed to be a start position Y. Start pause, start. Pause Y plus, there you go. So now when we move this, they'll move with us. That's cool. We've got a whole ton of crates here because every time I'm changing the code, it's spawning more stuff. We actually have a outstanding task to have that clean itself up. But for now, you've got to stop the game to get rid of them. Before we do that, I think what I'm going to do is, so if I offset the server time based on the based on where we are in this list, now we get this cool thing. Let's save that and press play. Yeah, so that's starting to look like what I was hoping to build. I think it should be possible to get on these boxes and jump across them. So let's move it down slightly so that people can get on top of them. Maybe a little bit further up. And then let's see if it's possible to jump across them. Okay, I'm jumping into play mode. Let's see what it looks like. Can I jump on here? Yes. Can I jump on here? Oh, I think that's too close. Yeah, I think that's too close. It's not dangerous enough. It needs to be more dangerous. Oh, up. Oh. I think that's too dangerous. Right, not dangerous enough. I'm going to make it a bit more dangerous, then we'll see who can make it across to the other side. Quite like this idea. Okay, so the spacing is I, and the, let me see. The spacing is here, right? Okay, so let's do, let's change this to this spacing, and then we can make a little slider. That'll be much more fun. Spacing, we'll start with 80. And then we'll say number range, and we'll go between what, like 10 and 200 or something. Okay, so now when we restart this, if we fly up and have a look, we can, I can just hit this. I don't need to keep moving that around. Now the spacing is affecting the spacing like this. That's very cool. We can just judge it in real time. Make it a bit more dangerous. 100 does seem like about the right number to do it. And then I also was going to change the other thing to a slider. This amount down here. Oh, there's actually two other things that we can change, right? This should be, this is like height or something. Height equals, what is it, 50 down there? Yeah. Number range, 10, 100, that seems good as well. Did you mean this height? I did mean this height. See, look, it's being really helpful. Cannot find name height. Did you mean this height? I did. Okay. Let's try again. So now this is the kind of height of the curve, which is really fun to play with. And then the thing that we didn't do was we didn't put, is Julia making it? No. It was 50 before, right? There you go. I'm going to get rid of this decoy crate. Let's see if we can make it across now. I think this is totally possible. Was the spacing set to 100? I think it maybe is. Okay. Whilst shooting other people, can we make it across? I think we can make it. Is that orca stuck up there? I can't tell. Yeah, I think so. We can go and help them out. What happened? What happened? Let's see. I think they got stuck. They got teleported into the world. Stand still, stand still. Stand still, I'll get you. I'll get you. I got you. No. I'm trying my bestest. I'll start again. There you go. So game started again. So we've built ourselves a little kind of creative coding thing where we just made some boxes move up and down. The offset, that's the other thing I wanted to do. This time offset. And if we make a thing called time offset, start with 1, I think, time offset was 1. We're back to where we were. Number range, let's go 1 to 1 to 5 or something. And then what does that look like? Here you go. That's, yeah, we can change that like that. Wonder if we can, oh, we can go less here. Yeah, well, that's nice, look at that. Yeah, that's fun. So I think if we make this spacing like 150 or something, it'll actually be difficult. Do we spacing? Look what it looks like there. That's cool. Okay. I think we make it like 150. Okay, there you go. Save my script, save the game, return to game. Okay, let's try. See whether we can make it. I feel like this mouse speed is super high in this window, but that probably is. Okay, let's try. We can go here. Is it even possible to jump now? Right at the top. Yeah, you can make it. Easy, easy. The other thing we didn't do is we didn't make it the speed with which it's going up and down change. We could do that too. I'm going to make it, I made it across, but I'm going to make it right to the end. But yeah, hopefully by just doing stuff, you know, what I'm managing to show is that it's really easy to just make things quickly, try out ideas, mess around and play and have fun. Some particle systems there. Whoa! Oh, I died. I fell off. I made it across all the way in the difficult case, but I fell off and died just by stumbling into the water. You did it. I don't see any boxes. I just have to reload to see them. I did it. I wonder why that was happening, TS. I don't know. Well, we achieved our goal. Getting killed. Okay, so I think next we should maybe try the other thing that we were talking about, making a little game from scratch. This is fun because you can reuse all of the things that the FPS kit comes with. I'm going to stand here, everybody can shoot me, and then I'm going to show you the... I'm invincible. Why am I invincible? I'm getting shot. Now I'm dead. So yeah, in this FPS kit example, if we press stop, what we can do is I can fly out and show you, well, that's the documentation, that's nice, but I can fly out and show you how it gets set up. There's actually a whole bunch of things over here, which is all of the pieces of the FPS kit. Some instructions at the back, which tell you how to change every single little aspect of it, everything that happens there. So you change that on these things here right in the game. It tells you what the UI layout is and what the names of everything is. The weapons database, which lets you set up all of the weapons and bullets and change all of those things. Ambient sound player, this is the kind of background music. So you could put some music in instead of the rain that you hear. And then these are all UI setups on here. So yeah, you can go and watch a tutorial that we have on how to build on top of this kit. But yeah, this is all here for you to play with, which is really fun. But next, what I'm going to do is just build something from scratch with no additional features, just to show what that looks like. So we'll go and do it. Hit save on this. I'm going to type game.new because you know that I love to do it. Start here, game.new. And now I'm going to go empty game. Whee. Okay, so we're going to make a new player controller that is not this beautiful default one. It's going to start from scratch. And you know what object I'm going to pick as the main player. If you have any other suggestions, let me know. But otherwise, I'm going to go for my tried and true and tested pillar pattern. Here you go. So this is going to be our player, good old pillar. As we do every time we want to make something that's a player or we want to spawn something, I'm going to make a template. New template. Bobby D pillar player. Save. And then in my game settings, I'm going to go down here and say change it from the default player template to be pillar player. Like this. Save. And now we enter the exciting world of pillars. So our player can do absolutely nothing whatsoever. We still have this camera, but the player can't move. There's no code. It's just an object. It doesn't do anything at all. This could be a game. I suppose it could be a philosophical statement. A game where you can literally do nothing. But I think it'd be more fun if we could move around and do something. So the idea that I had to do was make a little shooter game. To do that, the camera that we have right now, this polar camera, isn't going to work. So I'm going to make a new camera. So we can see that when I'm playing the game, this is the thing that's looking at the character, and it's got a bunch of scripts on it which are moving it around. So what I'm going to do is disable those scripts so we can do our own. This thing here is the kind of audio listener, makes the audio stuff work. We don't need any of this stuff, really. and take it all off. So I'm going to delete these scripts. See you later. It was good knowing you, but we don't need you anymore. So now when we save the game and press play, absolutely nothing will happen. You can't even move the camera anymore. So not only did we remove the player script, we removed all the camera scripts. There's now nothing here. What's this? We're going to remove the builder. Going to end up with basically nothing. Okay, so now we need to start building from 0. It's 15:42. Will we get anything made before the end of this stream? Who knows? Put your bets in now. If you think I'm going to make anything interesting, let me know in the stream, in the chat. So the first thing I'm going to do is make a super simple script that just moves the player around. We did this yesterday, but we'll do it again just to show how simple it is. So I'm going to say, that's not my name, Bobby D, shooter player movement, like that. And then all we're going to do is just move around in a super simple way. So I'm going to say that movement equal this dot game dot input. So as I was saying yesterday, if you use these kind of default controls that we have, then it will work for a gamepad. So stick 1 maps to the left stick of a gamepad. It maps to a virtual stick on a touch screen. It maps to WASD or the cursor keys on your keyboard, on your laptop. So by using stick 1, it will just magically work across all those devices without you having to do anything at all. You can also get access to the keyboard and the touch screen, a bunch of other things, the gamepad, and do specific controls for those. But I'm gonna stick with the defaults. So yeah, so we're going to get that gives us the X and Y position of the stick, and need to turn that into a movement to apply to the player. So let's say let movement equal new vector 3, and we're going to make this so the player's position is in 3 dimensions, X, Y, and Z. X is kind of lefty righty, Y is uppy downy, and Z is inny outy. So in order to make a movement, we need to take the stick, which is X, Y, like up and down on the stick is Y and left and right on the stick is X, and we need to change it into a 3D position. So we're not going to change the up and down movement, we're just going to change the forward and back and left and right. So we need to do a little map. Stick X is going to go to X, Y is going to be 0, and stick Y is going to be the Z, which is in and out. Then the player position, let's say player position. Position is this dot entity dot world transform dot position, and then we'll say player position dot add movement. Okay, so it should move now. We'll save our script. There you go. So it's working. Now the only thing is that the Z is the wrong way around, so we need to flip it. Flip the stick. Okay. So now we've got a player moving around. Very simple. We've got a camera that's looking at it and not moving. I think actually a camera not moving would be completely fine for this game. So I think what I'm going to do though is I'm going to move the camera up so it looks down a bit more on the game. So to do that, I'm going to get into fly cam. Here's the position of the camera. I'm going to move in world space, so we can zoom into the camera, show you what the difference is there. You know, if you've used a tool like this before, you'll be familiar with it. But local transform is the transform of is like in the direction of the camera itself. So you can see that the up arrow is pointing like the up of the camera, like this. And world is like the up of the world. So you just want to move it straight up without it moving around too much. You can do it like this. So I'm going to move it pretty high. And then we need to point it down a bit more. Yeah. So we can use these little rotate things on the side, point the camera down more at the player. and then we'll take a quick look. There you go. Okay, so press save, press return to game. Now I made a mistake there. Even though I made a movement script, I didn't update my template when I saved it, so it isn't moving anymore. So I'm going to quickly do that. Then put the player movement script on. Let's say template, push to template, save. Now it's going to work. There you go. Okay, so we made a super simple character. How long did that take us? 5 minutes? Something like that? 10 minutes? And then what I'd like to do is I'd like to shoot in the direction that we're moving. And then ideally I'm going to try and get something in here to shoot as well. I think we can still be a bit higher up, so I'll change that before we move on. Stop the game. I'm going to use this move tool because I like this one. It's got long arms. Look down a little bit more. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. Now I'm going to network this. And so to make it networked, in the tags we just say networked, and now it's networked. Push to template and save. And if I share a multiplayer link to this now, we should have people be able to jump in and test it straight away. Let's find out. You too can be a pillar of our society. So let's see if anyone else appears. Then I might need to do something else. Yeah. Here, look. Pillar friends. But you know what's funny? We're all kind of affecting each other's movement as well, because I made it change all the pillars when it changes the pillars. So we can make a little change to make that work. Wait a minute. Who said that you could start putting things in this game? People have started putting things in the game. What's this? Winter holiday emoji override. There's going to be no emoji overrides here because I took the emojis off the player. Okay. Okay, so the way networking works in Big Bang is that all scripts run on all players unless you tell it not to. So we need to say if this this game is a session. What is the way to do this? Let me just open a script. Remember how to do this. DBB character movement modal. This.entity.is owned locally. Okay. I should have remembered that. But you know, I'm streaming, so it's is owned locally. I'm going to say if we're not owned locally, don't do nothing. Okay. Oh, it's not a function. It's just a test like that. Okay. So what that does, before I did this, this movement code was running on all of the players that joined. So every player that joins has this template on it, and they all run this code, which means when I press my keys, it's moving everybody around. But now what it's saying is, hey, unless I own this, and for my own player, I do own it in our network model, then the emotes work somehow. The emotes work somehow. That's interesting. Oh yeah, maybe the emoji override is doing the emotes itself. That's possible. Yeah, so now we should be able to save this game, return to the game, start again, and everybody should be able to move around their own pillars without anybody else getting in the way. Let's see, can people move their pillars? Yeah, I think that should work. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe you need to reload. No, it is working. Look at that. Who is this pillar? If this pillar at the top, wiggle yourself back and forwards. Pillar at the top, identify yourself. Hey, look, the emojis are working. Okay, so that emoji override must do the emojis itself. That's really funny. Okay, we're now pillars with panda emojis. That's fun. Chaos, pure chaos. Okay, so we made a way. We're having a pillar party. We're just hanging out. I wonder if this override script can set the position of the emoji override. Emoji override. It sounds like a game. Emoji override. Okay, so that's got all the key binds. Emoji height. Okay, yeah, awesome. Look, we can change this, right? And then it'll be above the pillar. I don't know how any of this stuff works. Let's find out, though. Look, now if we do this, it's going to come above the pillar. Panda faces, panda crying, panda upside down, panda crying again, panda very angry, panda devil, panda heart, panda thumb. Yeah, awesome. So anyway, we can we can add a bunch of crazy stuff into anything by just looking in the template view at the bottom and dropping some things in. I think there's a emoji override. Emoji override. That's like a hacker name. That's going to be my hacker name. Emoji override. Winter holiday emoji override by Heather Controls D. Okay, yeah. So that's in the templates toolbar at the bottom. Awesome. Oh, there's some awesome little monsters in here. What happens if we put these guys in? Oh, they're going to go towards you. What's there? What is there? Get out of the way. Out of the way. Out of the way. Get off my friend pillar. Okay, we'll use those later. What do I mean later? We're running out of time. Come on, we're going to make it shoot something. That's what we're going to do. Look at these things down here. There's some crazy stuff going on. Snow person. Okay, getting totally distracted. Let's get back to business. What's happening now? We've got little names above our heads. Oh man. Hi. Hello. Hello. Okay, we're getting like edit bombed by people on the stream. Okay, so we can move around, but we can't shoot anything yet. So let's quickly try and shoot something. We'll shoot that crate that we just made earlier. Shoot a player movement. Okay, so let's try and go as quickly as we possibly can. Bullet template ref, which is a template ref. So I'm going to make a template ref for the bullet like this. That's going to pop up down here. In here, I'm going to choose my crate. And then when I press shoot, I'm going to spawn a crate. One thing is that crate is not networked. So I'm going to need to just jump in and do that before we move on. Templates, my templates. Where's my crate? Pillar, template, crate. Here's the crate. And in here, I'm going to say networked and then update its template. Easy peasy. Okay, that's done. Next, back into the script editor, and we're going to say if this game input controls action 1. I think action 1 is enter, shoot, but that might be jump. We'll find out. This we actually need to make a new version of our template that just moves forwards. Right, I know what I'm doing now. It might look like I don't know what I'm doing. That might be true. I'm going to make a new template. Save as Bobby D shooter bullet. It's going to be the biggest bullets in any game ever made. I'm going to call it shooter bullet just so we can identify it. And then in here, I'm going to click save these changes. Okay. Now I just need a little script on here to move it forward, and that's what the bullet's behavior is just going to be going straight forward. Get rid of these scripts because we don't need them anymore. I probably have written something like this in the past, so I'm going to have a look for it. Forward. Whoa, that's funny. Move. Shooter movement, calm movement, test movement, snaky movement. I've written every kind of movement apart from moving forwards. But it's easy to move forwards, so I'm going to do that really quick. We out of time? 57. Let's check. I don't think we're out of time yet. We've got 3 minutes. That's so much time. Okay, I'm going to write a new script. All this script's going to do is say, if I own this locally, move forward at some speed. Some speed. 100 units per second. If this entity, I'm rushing now, so is owned locally, if it's not, if we don't own it, don't do anything about it. Okay, and then otherwise this entity will transform position, add this entity, we're going to get forward, let forward equal this entity. We'll transform forward, get forward. Okay, that's the forward direction of the entity. And then I'm going to add the forward direction multiplied by a little speed. So I'm going to clone this so we don't actually change that. I think we need to do that anymore, but I'm not entirely sure. Oh, optional target. Okay, so we can actually say, do this, and then say, multiply it by speed times this game frame delta time. So that means that we're going to get a vector pointing in the forward direction of the crate, and it's going to be the length of the speed multiplied by time, so it's units per second. I'm going to add it here. Now it's going off on its journey into space by itself. I'm going to change speed to be a what? Did I break it? Did I break it? Let's see how much I broke. I didn't save my script. I'm a bad person. That's okay. I can type it again. Okay, so we're going to get the forward direction. I'm going to say movement actually is this entity will transform forward, get forward. I'm going to say multiply scalar this speed times this game frame delta time like this. So that's going to be the how we're going to move. We need to put the little thing that stops it moving everybody's crates around, all of them. This entity is locally owned, like a locally owned business. Here we go. Global Game Jam. Look, it's happening. I'm purple, Orca is blue, and you are red. It's happening. This is going to be called Bobby D crate. Crate movement. Oh no, bullet movement. There we go. Save. Remember to press save on everything. And I think that I'll just split this so it looks a bit nicer. And this entity, I'm going to add the movement that we created to its position. Okay, so save that. Press save. Okay. Everything's getting changed. Let's go return to game. Okay, that's good. I'm going to just press save. I'm going to reload for 1 second. Here you go. And now we should be able to see what's happening. Moving around at the speed of sound. I see what's happened. We check one thing. Yes. So let's go back. Yeah, so the crate is working. I think I might have also, let's see what's going on here. Yeah, this wasn't fully saved either. Okay, well, I'm going to just fix that up. I was just about to do the shooting, right? So let's fix that. Okay, here you go. It's working again. All good. I think in the case of the other game that we were looking at, I think what's happening there is, because I reloaded somebody else's server and that's causing an issue, but we'll work here and then we can go back. Okay, let me just check the time, private chat. Okay, no messages there, so I think we've got a tiny bit more time. We'll try and complete our task here. So we have the crate moving in the direction it's moving in. We have our little player moving around, and the final thing we've got to do is make it shoot crates in the direction it's moving in. So I'm going to grab this, some number, bullet template ref, okay, shoot a bullet, fill that in with the template that we just made, and then when you press shoot, we're going to spawn one. So this game add entity from template, this will say get our little bullet, bullet equals this, bullet template ref get, if not bullet, I'll throw an error again like we did before. Please select a bullet template in the script properties, exclamation point. Okay, so now we know it's valid. We can say bullet. And this will work, but it's going to be a bit messy because it's going to spawn right on top of us. So let's take a look at what it looks like. It did spawn, but it's not moving. Is it script there? No, spawned in the wrong one. We picked the wrong one. We didn't pick the wrong one, we just didn't update it. Okay, get rid of these, put the bullet movement script on. Here you go. Hit go in the entity. Update, there you go. We know what we're doing. Okay, stop and play. And now, what's wrong? Oh, please select it in the script properties, so we didn't do this. We did pick it, but we're going to pick it and then update this one. Simple. There you go. So now we're spawning crates. The only problem is we're not spawning them at the player. So we'll use the player's position as the initial bullet position, and then we should be good. This. Oh yeah, so this is the bullet that we spawned. This is the bullet template. Let's change these names to make it clearer so it's obvious what's happening. There you go. There you go. And now we can say bullet will transform, position, copy this, player position. And we're going to use the player position that we made just before so that we're in the right place when we spawn it. Let's see what happens. Here you go. Look at that. Some may say we're spawning too many. Some may say. Also, there is a slight problem in that the bullets never disappear, so they're just going off the screen and going forever. But yeah, that's the start of a shooter. So we kind of did both things in the time. We started off doing the FPS. We eventually built something. It's not really a shooter, but at least it's something. But I think we had fun along the way. And hopefully what we've shown today is that you can make a whole bunch of stuff that isn't like a third-person camera platform type game using .Big Bang. And yeah, that's it for me for today. Now, tomorrow I will be back as part of the Global Game Jam theme reveal and kickoff stream. So that's Saturday, Friday the 20th, Friday, January the 20th. Saturday, January the 20th. Saturday, Friday, January the 20th. Streaming for an hour makes your brain stop working, that's for sure. So I'll be back tomorrow, Saturday, to do the kickoff for Global Game Jam. In the meantime, if you're interested in using .Big Bang to make a game for Global Game Jam, then you can go to .bigbang.com, GGJ. We'll go there right now. And you can see, I don't know why sometimes it says this YouTube video is unavailable, but sometimes it says that. You can see the trailer for .Big Bang, all of the things that you can do, how to enter Global Game Jam using .Big Bang, a bunch of resources to help you do that. The link to the FPS kit plus combat kits that we were looking at earlier. How to use the voxel object editor, the documentation site, quick start guide, intros. We've also got a really handy .Big Bang for Unity developers. So if you're coming from Unity and you want to understand the difference between Unity's layout and .Big Bang's layout and where everything is hidden, this is a really quick start guide. So yeah, absolutely everything that you need for Global Game Jam is on this page. And then finally, you can come and join our Discord, hang out with the developers. We can help you with your games, help you do all of these things for Global Game Jam. If you've got a problem, we'll be there to help. So yeah, check out this page if you're interested. I'm going to post that link in the chat right now. And apart from that, if nobody has any more questions, any other things that they want to ask, I'll give people a final chance. And then that's going to be the end of the stream for today. Yeah, I think that's it for today. Okay, thanks everyone for hanging out in the stream and watching and playing. And I will see you tomorrow for more fun and games. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.